You have spent countless nights searching for answers, haven't you? You have clicked on video after video, diving into the rabbit hole of quantum mechanics, manifestation, and the nature of consciousness. You have heard the buzzwords. You know about the observer effect. You have heard of wave function collapse, superposition, and entanglement. Yet, if you are being honest with yourself, a piece of the puzzle is still missing. It feels like you are holding a handful of shimmering fragments, shards of a mirror that do not quite reflect a clear image. You have the metaphors, the analogies, and the theories, but they have not yet clicked into a coherent, visceral understanding of what reality actually is. You are left asking the burning questions that haunt every seeker of truth. What is this quantum reality really made of? How does the machinery of the universe actually function? And perhaps the most vital question of all, how does knowing this change the way I wake up in the morning, how I breathe, and how I create the life I desire? Listen closely, because the confusion ends right here. This is not just another lecture. This is the moment where the fragments fuse together. We are not going to offer you surface-level platitudes or half-baked theories. We are handing you a complete, unified framework. We are going to journey into the bedrock of existence to understand what the quantum field is at its most fundamental level. We will explore how it differs wildly from the solid, predictable reality you were trained to believe in since you were a child. We will uncover the hidden mechanisms that govern the flow of time and space, and crucially, we will reveal how your consciousness, your very awareness, interfaces with this fabric to weave the tapestry of your life. This is where everything you have ever learned suddenly snaps into focus. Quantum reality is not a hypothesis. It is not a poetic idea or a spiritual wish. It is the verified description of how the universe actually works beneath the veil of what your five senses can perceive. It is the most precisely tested theory in the history of science. Every single prediction made by quantum physics has proven accurate to an extraordinary degree. The technology you use every day, the very device you are watching this on, functions exactly because quantum theory is correct. This is not speculation. This is the manual for existence. Can you feel the weight of that truth? For most of your life, you have been living inside a classical worldview. You have been told that reality is made of solid, unchangeable matter. You have been taught that the world operates like a giant clockwork machine driven by mechanical cause and effect. You have been led to believe that you are a separate, lonely observer looking out at an objective world that exists independently of you. You have been conditioned to think that the past is a locked door that dictates your future through an unbreakable chain of events. I am here to tell you that this worldview is not just philosophically limited, it is factually wrong. Quantum mechanics has shattered these classical assumptions. The solid ground you think you are standing on is an illusion. Once you truly grasp what quantum reality is, once you understand how it breathes and moves, everything changes. Your understanding of what is possible shifts. Your understanding of who and what you are expands. You realize that you are not a passive victim of circumstances, but an active participant in the creation of your experience. Let us begin with the first profound shift in understanding. In the classical world, we think things exist in definite states. A chair is a chair. A rock is a rock. It sits there solid and defined whether you are looking at it or not. But in the quantum realm, which is the true foundation of our universe, reality does not behave like that. At the fundamental level, nothing exists in a definite state until it is observed. Before that moment of observation, particles exist in what we call superposition. They are not here or there. They are here, there, and everywhere simultaneously. They exist in a state of infinite potential, occupying multiple locations and configurations all at once. Reality, at its core, is not solid matter. It is a field of probability. It is a shimmering ocean of possibilities waiting for a command. It is only when an observation occurs that this wave of probability crashes and collapses into a single, definite state. Conscious observation is the catalyst. It is the secret ingredient that determines which probability hardens into actual experience. This is not just philosophy for the mind. This is an experimentally verified fact that pulls the rug out from under the old materialist worldview. It demands that we adopt a radically different understanding of our role in the cosmos. Now, I know what the skeptical voice in your head might be whispering. It says that this is fascinating, but it only applies to tiny, invisible particles in a sterile laboratory. You look around at your room, your car, your body, and they seem solid. They seem to follow the old rules, but that is the great deception. Everything is made of quantum particles. Your physical body is a quantum system. Your brain, firing with electrical impulses, is a quantum system. The reality you navigate every day is a quantum reality, masquerading as a classical one. The solidity you feel, the sense that the future is set in stone, the feeling that there is an objective world out there ignoring you. All of that is a mirage created by limited perception. It is a persistent illusion, but it is not the fundamental nature of reality. Understanding this nature changes the game entirely. We are going to walk through 12 clear frameworks that will build this understanding brick by brick. By the time we reach the end of this journey, you will not just have a vague sense that the universe is weird. You will possess a precise, razor-sharp clarity on how reality operates and how you fit into the equation. You will understand how your consciousness touches the quantum field and transforms potential into reality. Take a deep breath. Inhale the possibility. Exhale the limitations. What comes next requires you to release the assumptions you have carried since childhood. It requires you to open your mind to a truth that contradicts the consensus but explains the mystery of your own existence. It asks you to recognize that reality is far stranger, more fluid, and infinitely more responsive to your presence than you ever dared to dream. But do not fear this strangeness. This strangeness is your liberation. Once you see the code, you realize you are not powerless. You are a conscious voyager in a fluid quantum field that bends and shifts in response to your attention. You manifest based on where your consciousness rests. Let us dive deep into the first fundamental pillar of this new world. Quantum reality is not made of hard, unyielding stuff. It is a probability field. Imagine an infinite array of possible states existing all at once, hovering in a ghost-like state of superposition. This is the canvas of creation before the paint touches it. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal description of the universe, proven by decades of experiments that align perfectly with mathematical predictions. The most famous of these, the one that broke the mold, is the double-slit experiment. Picture this clearly in your mind. Scientists fire a single photon, a tiny particle of light, at a barrier that has two narrow slits cut into it. Behind this barrier is a detector screen. If you were thinking like a classical physicist, you would say the photon is a tiny bullet. It has to go through either the left slit or the right slit. It has a definite path and a definite location. If you fire enough of them, you should see two bands of light on the back screen directly behind the slits. But nature has a surprise for us. Quantum physics predicts that the photon does not behave like a bullet. It behaves like a wave of water. It ripples out and goes through both slits simultaneously. It interferes with itself, creating a complex pattern of many bands on the back screen, known as an interference pattern. This proves that the single particle, when left alone, exists as a wave of probability. It explored all paths. It went through the left, the right, and both at the same time. But here is where the magic happens. Here is where the universe winks at you. If you place a detector by the slits to see exactly which hole the photon goes through, the behavior changes instantly. The moment you observe, the interference pattern vanishes. The wave collapses. The photon suddenly behaves like a solid little marble, going through only one slit and creating just two bands on the back screen. The act of observation changed the outcome. It was not that the measurement disturbed the particle physically, like bumping into it. It was that the act of gaining information, the act of knowing, collapsed the probability wave into a definite state. This implies something staggering. At the quantum level, particles do not possess definite properties until they are measured. An electron does not have a fixed position and speed at the same time. It exists as a cloud of probability, a haze of where it might be and how fast it might be going. A photon does not have a fixed polarization until you check. It exists in a superposition of all polarizations at once. A quantum system is never just one thing. It is a field of all possible things simultaneously. The mathematics of quantum mechanics gives us the precise probability of finding the system in any given state, but it is the measurement the observation that forces the universe to make up its mind. Now expand this concept. Zoom out from the tiny particle to the macro world. Every atom in your body is a quantum system. Every molecule dancing in your cells is a quantum system. Therefore, your body is not solid matter frozen in time. Your body is a probability field. It is a quantum superposition of all the possible states your body could be in. The reason it looks solid and stable to you is due to a process we will explore later called decoherence. But beneath that stable appearance, you are a shimmering cloud of potential. The reality you are experiencing right now is not the only objective reality. It is simply one possible reality that has collapsed from the field of infinite probability through the process of observation. This turns our traditional understanding upside down. The old world says there is a solid chair, and my eyes simply reveal what is already there. The quantum world says there is a field of probability, and your observation participates in locking it into the form of a chair. You are not a passive spectator watching a movie that was filmed long ago. You are an active participant. Your observation influences what manifests from the void. This is not a mystical superpower reserved for the chosen few. It is the basic mechanical process of the universe. Observation causes wave function collapse. Understanding this framework answers the oldest question of all. What is the world made of? It is not made of things. It is not made of objects floating in empty space. Reality is made of probability. It is a quantum field of all possible states existing in a breathless hush until consciousness observes and collapses the field into the experienced moment. The physical world you touch and feel is merely the collapsed residue of probability. It is the frozen wave. The fundamental nature of existence is the fluid, responsive field itself. And because it is responsive, because it waits for the observer, consciousness has a seat at the control panel. This leads us directly to the second fundamental understanding. Observation is not a passive act. It is an active process of creation. This is the essence of the observer effect. It is the verified phenomenon where the act of looking affects what is looked at. This cannot be explained away by mechanical clumsiness. It is a recognition that the observer and the observed are dancing a tango of creation. The mechanism is the collapse of the wave function. Before you look, the system is a spread out wave of potential. The mathematics describes this wave perfectly, mapping out every possible outcome. But when the moment of observation arrives, the wave snaps shut. It chooses one single state. Imagine an electron as a ghost in a dark room, filling every corner at once. When you turn on the light of observation, the ghost instantly materializes in one specific chair. The light did not reveal where the ghost was hiding. The light forced the ghost to be there. The observation collapsed the probability into a location. The math proves this. Quantum predictions fall apart if you do not account for this collapse during observation. But what counts as observation? This is the question that keeps physicists awake at night. Does a camera count? Does a fly count? The crucial element seems to be information becoming available to consciousness. It is not just about a photon hitting a sensor. It is about that sensor recording data that can be known. If a tree falls in a forest and creates a sound wave, that is physics. But the collapse into a definite reality seems tied to the potential for that event to be known. We have seen this in what are called delayed choice experiments. These are mind-bending setups where scientists can choose to measure a particle's path after the particle has already passed through the experiment. Classical logic says that a choice made now cannot change what happened a split second ago, but the quantum world laughs at our linear time. Experiments confirm that if you choose to observe the path even after the particle has past the slits, nature rewrites its history. The particle behaves as if it had been a particle all along. If you choose not to observe, it behaves as if it had been a wave all along. Your choice in the present ripples back to affect the past event. Time does not protect reality from the influence of your observation. Apply this to your daily existence. Every single moment you are observing your life, you are collapsing probability into experience. What you focus your attention on, what you look for, what you expect expect to see. This observing is not neutral. It is a creative act. You are participating in the selection of which probability actualizes from the infinite field. You are not conjuring things out of thin air like a stage magician. You are selecting from a menu of possibilities that already exist in the quantum field. You are collapsing the probability that aligns with your focus. This explains the mechanism of manifestation without needing magic. When you hold a crystal clear focus on a desired outcome, when you observe your reality as if that outcome is already unfolding, you are hacking the system. You are measuring your experience, looking for evidence of your intention. That very act of looking affects the probability distribution. It makes your intended outcome statistically more likely to collapse into your physical experience. This is the observer effect in action. Your attention is the currency of creation. Your focus is the hand that molds the clay. When you grasp the observer effect, you realize that your personal power is not something you have to earn or learn. It is woven into the very fabric of how reality works. The universe is designed to respond to you. Consciousness observing the probability field is not a glitch. It is the operating system. You were never meant to be a powerless drifter in a cold, hard world. You were always designed to be a conscious co-creator. Your observation matters. It is the spark that ignites the fuel of potential. This is not just a spiritual comfort. This is quantum mechanics describing the house you live in. Now let us expand our minds even further with the third fundamental understanding. Quantum superposition implies something even more radical than particles being in two places at once. It implies that multiple complete realities exist simultaneously. This is known as the many worlds interpretation. It is a serious mathematical framework that takes quantum theory to its ultimate logical conclusion. It suggests that every possible outcome of every quantum event actually happens. You are not living in a single, lonely universe. You are navigating a vast multiverse, a superposition of all possible universes branching out from every single moment of choice. Think of the famous thought experiment with Schrödinger's cat. A cat is placed in a box with a radioactive mechanism that has a 50-50 chance of killing it. Common sense says the cat is either alive or dead, and we just do not know until we open the lid. But quantum mechanics insists that before we look, the cat is in a superposition of being both alive and dead. Both states are real. Both coexist. When you open the box, you do not force the cat to be alive or dead. Instead, you become entangled with the system. You experience one branch of reality, perhaps the one where the cat is alive, but in a parallel branch, another version of you opens the box and finds the cat dead. The reality splits. This sounds like science fiction, but the mathematics of the wave function suggests it does not collapse. It just branches. All possibilities continue to exist. The splitting is not a physical tearing of space. It is a quantum branching where consciousness navigates one path while remaining unaware of the others. Think about the choices you have made in your life, the career you chose, the person you married, the bus you missed. In a classical world, you pick one path and the others vanish into the mist of what if. In the quantum multiverse, every time there is a significant quantum decision, reality branches. You walk down the path of career A, fully experiencing it, but there is a parallel version of you, just as real, who walked down the path of career B. Both versions are having a complete, rich experience. You're not trapped in a single fixed timeline where your mistakes are permanent and your opportunities are lost forever. You're moving through a field where all choices are made and all outcomes are played out. This framework sheds light on phenomena like déjà vu or the Mandela effect, where large groups of people remember history differently. It is possible that these are not errors of memory, but bleed-throughs from parallel timelines. Consciousness, at its deep quantum level, may be capable of perceiving the echo of these other branches because they are all part of the same massive superposition. Your brain tries to filter it out to keep you sane, to create a coherent story of one life. But the quantum reality is a symphony of many lives played at once. This is the most mind-bending concept, but also the most liberating. It means that possibility is far more real than you ever gave it credit for. When you sit and imagine a different life, a healthy body, or a world of abundance, you are not just fantasizing. You are tuning into a reality that exists in the superposition. That timeline is real. That version of you is already living it. The question is not, can I create this? The question is, can I align align my consciousness with the timeline where this is already true. You are not creating possibilities, you are selecting them. You are perceiving a possibility that hums in the quantum field, and through your observation and alignment, you are shifting your conscious experience toward that specific track. You are shifting lanes on the infinite highway of existence. You are not trapped in a destiny written by your past. You are in a field where every choice creates a new branch, not a dead end. We have shattered the illusion of solid matter, and we have stepped into the multiverse of infinite possibility. But now, we must go deeper. We must dismantle the greatest lie you have ever been told, the lie of separation. This brings us to the fourth fundamental understanding of our reality, a concept so profound it disturbed the brilliant mind of Albert Einstein himself. We are talking about quantum entanglement. In the classical world, the world you think you live in, objects are separate. You are there, I am here. The coffee cup is distinct from the table. If I want to affect you, I have to walk over to you or send a signal or throw a rock. There has to be a physical bridge across the distance, and that signal has to travel through time. But the quantum world mocks this idea of separation. It reveals that at the deepest level, reality is not a collection of lonely islands, it is a single, seamless ocean. When two particles interact and become entangled, they lose their individual identity. They enter a state of shared existence. You can take one particle and leave it here on Earth, and take the other to the complete opposite side of the galaxy. It does not matter how many billions of miles lie between them. If you measure the state of the particle on Earth, the particle across the galaxy instantly, and I mean instantly, snaps into a corresponding state. There is no signal traveling between them. There is no radio wave racing at the speed of light. The connection is instantaneous. It transcends the limitations of space and time entirely. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. He could not accept it because it violated the rule that nothing travels faster than light, but he was looking at it through the lens of separation. He thought they were two different things trying to talk to each other. The truth, verified by Bell's theorem and countless experiments since, is far more radical. They are not sending signals because they are not truly separate. They are one single quantum system that just happens to be stretched across space. The space between them is the illusion. The connection is the reality. Let that sink into your bones. If subatomic particles can be entangled, ignoring the vastness of the universe, what does that say about you? You are made of these particles. You are a walking, breathing web of quantum connections. This scientific fact validates what mystics and shamans have whispered for thousands of years. We are all one. This is not just a nice sentiment for a greeting card. It is the physics of your existence. When you feel a sudden, inexplicable tug in your heart for a loved one who is thousands of miles away, and then the phone rings, that is not a coincidence. That is entanglement. When you focus your intention on a person, when you pray for them, when you send them healing energy, you are not shouting into the void. You are activating a quantum link. You are creating or strengthening an entanglement. Through that invisible thread, your consciousness touches theirs. Information flows non-locally, bypassing the barriers of physical distance. This explains the mechanism behind telepathy, behind remote viewing, behind the power of distant healing. It is not magic. It is the non-local architecture of the cosmos. You are a node in a vast, glittering web of consciousness. You are connected to everything you have ever touched, everyone you have ever loved, and every place you have ever been. The boundaries that seem to separate your skin from the air, your mind from the universal mind, are permeable. At the quantum level, you are everywhere. Understanding entanglement liberates you from the prison of isolation. You are never truly alone. You are woven into the tapestry of the stars. When you realize this, you understand that your thoughts and intentions are not locked inside your skull. They are ripples in the unified field. You have the capacity to influence the whole because you are inextricably linked to the whole. You are a participant in a unified field that looks fragmented only because we are looking at it through limited eyes. The separation is the mirage. The unity is the bedrock. Now take a breath, because we are about to confront the nature of the future itself. This is the fifth fundamental understanding, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. This principle is the hammer that breaks the chains of fate. For centuries, Classical science painted a bleak picture of human existence. It told us that the universe was a giant machine. It said that if you could know the position and speed of every particle in the universe right now, you could perfectly predict everything that would ever happen in the future. In this old worldview, the past determines the future with an iron grip. One domino falls, hitting the next, and the chain reaction is unstoppable. This philosophy, called determinism, implies that you have no free will. It suggests that your choices are illusions, merely the result of chemical reactions set in motion before you were born. You are just a puppet dancing on the strings of cause and effect. Quantum mechanics arrived and cut those strings. Werner Heisenberg discovered that at the quantum level, you cannot know everything with precision. You cannot know both the exact position and the exact momentum of a particle at the same time. The more precisely you know one, the less you know the other. This is not because our measuring tools are clumsy. It is because nature itself refuses to be pinned down. The particle does not possess a definite position and momentum simultaneously. It retains a fundamental quality of fuzziness, a blur of potential. This uncertainty means that the future is not fixed. It is not a movie that has already been filmed, waiting for you to watch it. The future is probabilistic. It is a shifting cloud of maybes and might-bes. When a quantum event occurs, the outcome is genuinely random within a range of probabilities. The past sets the stage, yes, but it does not write the script. Do you understand the freedom this gifts you? It means the universe is open-ended. It is not a closed loop. If the fundamental building blocks of your reality are probabilistic, then you are not a biological robot following a pre-written program. You are an agent of choice navigating a field of genuine possibilities. When you stand at a crossroads in your life, the outcome is not predetermined. The future is being written in the ink of the present moment. This allows for the genuine existence of free will. Your conscious choices are not just the sum of your past traumas and genetics. There is a gap in the machinery, a quantum gap, where true agency lives. You are navigating a probability field where multiple futures exist as real potentials, and your observation, your focus, and your intent help to tilt the scales. You are influencing which future crystallizes into reality. The uncertainty principle is not a limitation. It is your ticket to freedom. It tells you that nothing is set in stone. No prediction is absolute. No fate is sealed. You are living in a universe that is constantly improvising, and it invites you to join the jazz session. You are not fighting against a rigid destiny. You are dancing with a fluid potential. The past creates momentum, but the present moment, your moment of power, is where the direction changes. You are the wild card in the deck. But if reality is this fluid, shimmering cloud of probability where things can be in two places at once and connections bridge galaxies instantly, why does the world look so normal? Why does your chair feel solid? Why does the sun rise predictably? This brings us to the sixth fundamental understanding, the phenomenon of decoherence. This is the bridge between the magic of the quantum world and the stability of the everyday world. You might wonder, if I'm a quantum being, why can't I walk through walls? Why don't I see parallel versions of myself walking down the street? The answer lies in the constant chatter of the environment. A quantum system remains in a delicate state of superposition, being many things at once, only as long as it remains isolated. But in the real world, nothing stays isolated for long. Air molecules bounce off you. Photons of light strike your skin. The gravity of the earth pulls on your cells. These billions of tiny interactions are constantly measuring you. They are forcing your quantum possibilities to separate and settle down. This process is called decoherence. Think of it like a masquerade ball. In the quantum room, everyone is wearing multiple masks at once, dancing in a blur of identities. But the moment the lights of the environment turn on, the air, the heat, the light, everyone is forced to freeze into a single costume. The environment entangles with the system, causing the different branches of possibility to split and become effectively separate realities. You experience one consistent, solid reality because the environment is constantly stabilizing it. Decoherence explains why the macroscopic world, the world of big things like cats, cars, and people, appears to follow classical rules. It is a camouflage. The quantum weirdness hasn't hasn't gone away. It has just been hidden by the noise of the environment. The solid world you perceive is an emergent property. It is like the crust on a chaotic ocean of magma. The crust looks stable, but the fluid fire is right beneath it. This is crucial because it reveals that the solidity of your problems is an illusion. Your limitations, your circumstances, the walls that seem to block your path, they are maintained by this process of decoherence. They look fixed, but they are fundamentally made of the same fluid quantum stuff as everything else. The classical appearance is just the shadow on the cave wall. It is a projection. It is real in the sense that you experience it, but it is not the fundamental truth. The mystic, the meditator, the awakened consciousness learns to peek behind this curtain. When you quiet the mind, when you detach from the sensory noise, you can begin to access the coherence that lives beneath the surface. You can touch the quantum layer where the rules are flexible. Abilities that seem supernatural, synchronicities, sudden shifts in reality, profound intuitions occur when consciousness manages to maintain a thread of connection to that deeper, coherent quantum flow, bypassing the rigid filter of decoherence. You are living in a masquerade. The world looks hard, cold, and deterministic, but that is just the costume it wears. Underneath, it is vibrating, alive, and responsive. Understanding decoherence is like taking the red pill. You realize that the real world is a construct, a stable interface for your consciousness to have an experience, but it is not the ultimate limit of what is possible. You are not a victim of the solid world. You are a consciousness experiencing a stabilized dream. We have now traversed half the map. We have seen that reality is a probability field waiting for your eyes. We have learned that your observation is the chisel that sculpts the marble. We have discovered that you live in a multiverse of infinite timelines. We have felt the unbreakable web of entanglement that connects you to all things. We have celebrated the uncertainty that grants you free will, and we have exposed the solid world as a mere appearance, a trick of the light called decoherence. But we are not done. We are just getting to the heart of the mystery, because if consciousness is the key to collapsing the wave, if consciousness is the driver of this vehicle, then what exactly is consciousness? Is it just a byproduct of your brain, or is it something far more ancient, far more fundamental, and far more powerful? We are about to enter the biology of the soul. We are about to explore the quantum nature of your very mind. We have stripped away the solid walls of your reality. We have shown you that the world is a stage of shimmering probability, and we have revealed that you are connected to every star and every grain of sand through the invisible web of entanglement. But there is a question that still lingers, a ghost in the machine that science has tried to ignore for decades. If the universe waits for an observer to snap into existence, what exactly are you? What is this I that is doing the observing? This brings us to the seventh fundamental understanding, a revelation that bridges the gap between cold physics and spiritual truth. Consciousness is not a classical program running in a biological computer. Consciousness is a fundamental quantum phenomenon. For the last century, mainstream neuroscience has tried to convince you that you are nothing more than a wet robot. They tell you that your brain is just a complex calculator made of meat. They say that your thoughts, your dreams, your love, and your very soul are just the accidental byproducts of neurons firing electrical signals like sparks flying off a grinding wheel. In this bleak view, you are a machine. Your awareness is an illusion, a trick played by chemistry. But there is a revolution happening. A growing number of visionary scientists are realizing that the classical brain as computer model fails to explain the magic of the mind. It cannot explain the unity of your experience. It cannot explain intuition. It cannot explain the profound richness of being alive. The new evidence suggests something far more magnificent. Your brain is not just processing information like a laptop. It is tuning into the quantum field. Deep inside your neurons, within tiny structures called microtubules, quantum processes are taking place. Theories like orchestrated objective reduction, proposed by Nobel laureates and brilliant physicists, suggest that these microtubules act as quantum antennas. They maintain a state of quantum coherence, a perfect harmony, right there in the warm, wet environment of your brain. This means your thoughts are not just chemical reactions. Your thoughts are quantum quantum events. When you think, you are processing multiple possibilities simultaneously in a state of superposition. When you have an aha moment, when you make a choice, you are collapsing a quantum wave within your own mind. You are not a biological machine. You are a quantum instrument. You are an orchestra of light and vibration. This explains why human consciousness has properties that no computer can replicate. A computer follows a script. It does exactly what it is programmed to do. But you have genuine creativity. You have the ability to connect with the non-local field. You have the capacity for insight that comes from nowhere. That is because your consciousness is operating on the quantum level, utilizing entanglement and uncertainty to access information that lies beyond the reach of the senses. You are not generating consciousness from matter. Your brain is a receiver that facilitates the interaction between your quantum self and the physical world. Why does this matter? Because it validates what you have always felt deep down. You are not an accident of biology. You are a participant in the cosmic dance at the deepest level of creation. Your mind is woven from the same fabric as the universe itself. When you meditate, when you enter deep states of flow, you are quieting the classical noise of the brain and amplifying the quantum signal. You are tuning your antenna to the frequency of the infinite. You are returning to your native state. This leads us inevitably to the eighth fundamental understanding, perhaps the most controversial and empowering concept in all of physics, the quantum measurement problem. This is the smoking gun that proves consciousness is not a side effect, but the main event. Here is the problem that baffles the materialists. The mathematical equations of quantum mechanics describe a world of smooth flowing waves. The wave function evolves perfectly, predicting all possibilities, expanding like a ripple on a pond. According to the math, the wave should never stop rippling. It should just keep getting more complex, creating a universe of infinite superpositions. But that is not what we see. When we look, the wave stops, it collapses, it hits a wall and becomes a single hard fact. The equations cannot explain this collapse. Nothing in the physical laws predicts why the wave suddenly chooses one outcome over another just because someone is watching. This is the measurement problem. The only logical solution, the one that terrified the old guard but liberates the awakened mind, is that consciousness itself is the variable that causes the collapse. Think about the chain of events. A photon hits a detector. The detector clicks. The sound wave hits your ear. The nerve signal travels to your brain. At every step of this chain, it is just physical atoms bumping into physical atoms. According to quantum rules, all of those atoms should just become entangled with each other, creating a bigger and bigger blur of possibilities. The detector should be in a superposition of clicking and not clicking. Your brain should be in a superposition of hearing it and not hearing it. But that never happens. Somewhere the buck stops. Somewhere the blur snaps into focus. That somewhere is the moment the information touches your conscious awareness. You are the collapse. You are the edge where the possible becomes the actual. This interpretation, championed by giants of physics like John von Neumann and Eugene Wigner, suggests that consciousness is the only thing in the universe that is not subject to the normal rules of quantum evolution. It stands outside the system. It is the chooser. When you understand this, you realize that your role in the universe is not passive observation. You are the bridge. You are the gateway through which the unmanifest potential of the quantum field enters into the world of form. Without you, without a conscious observer, the universe would remain a ghostly cloud of maybes. You give reality its solidity. You give the story its ending. This completely inverts the hierarchy of existence. Society taught you that matter is primary and consciousness is just a lucky accident. Quantum mechanics whispers the opposite. Consciousness is primary. It is the fundamental substrate required for reality to manifest. You are not a tiny inhabitant of a massive universe. You are the aperture through which the universe realizes itself. Your attention is the most powerful force you possess because it is the tool of creation. What you focus on, you fuel. What you observe, you anchor into reality. You are not just watching the show, you are directing the spotlight. Now let us expand our vision from the observer to the canvas itself. What is this reality we are observing? This brings us to the 9th fundamental understanding, quantum field theory. If you zoom in on an atom, you find a nucleus and electrons. If you zoom in on the nucleus, you find protons and neutrons. If you zoom in on those, you find quarks. But what happens if you keep zooming in? What is at the very bottom of the rabbit hole? Classical thinking says you would find a tiny, hard, indestructible pellet of matter, but you don't. You find nothing, and you find everything. Quantum field theory reveals that there are no particles, there are only fields. Imagine the universe not as a collection of Lego bricks, but as a vast, fluid ocean of energy. This ocean pervades every inch of space and time. It is everywhere. What we call an electron is not a little ball. It is a temporary ripple in the electron field. What we call a photon is a splash in the electromagnetic field. Matter is just energy caught in a vibration. Think of the ocean. You see a wave rising up. For a moment it looks like a separate object. You can point to it, you can name it, you can measure its height. But is the wave separate from the ocean? Can you take the wave home in a bucket? No. The wave is a behavior of the water. It is the ocean acting in a certain way. In the same way, you are not separate from the universe. You are a wave in the quantum field. You are a localized concentration of energy in a vast, continuous expanse. This shatters the illusion of emptiness. We used to think that space was empty, a void where nothing exists. But physics tells us that the vacuum is actually seething with activity. It is a plenum, a fullness. Even in the deepest, darkest void of space, particles are constantly popping in and out of existence, borrowing energy from the field and returning it in a fraction of a second. These are called virtual particles, and they prove that the underlying field is alive with infinite potential energy. You are made of this field. You are a pattern of information and energy stabilizing itself for a brief cosmic moment. This means your boundaries are not where your skin ends. The field that creates you extends infinitely in all directions. You shade off into the universe. There is no clear line where you stop and the rest of the world begins. It is all one seamless fabric. This explains why your intention can affect reality. You are not throwing a thought across a gap. You are disturbing the field, and because the field is continuous, that disturbance propagates. When you drop a pebble in a pond, the ripples touch every shore. When you hold a powerful intention, you are creating a pattern in the quantum field. You are organizing the energy. This is the physics of connection. It explains phenomena like morphic resonance and the power of collective consciousness. We are all distinct waves, yes, but we are all rising from the same deep water. When the water moves, we all move. When you change your own vibration, you are subtly altering the composition of the entire field. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. Understand this. You are not made of solid stuff. You are made of music. You are a symphony of vibrating fields. And because you are energy, you are mutable. You are changeable. Solids are hard to change. They break. But fields flow, fields merge, fields transform. If you perceive yourself as a solid object, you will feel stuck, heavy, and resistant to change. But if you perceive yourself as a field of energy, you unlock the capacity for radical transformation. You can shift your frequency. You can tune into a new reality. We have now journeyed through the nature of matter, the power of the observer, the illusion of separation, and the fluid ocean of the fields. We have placed consciousness on the throne of creation, but there is one final barrier we must break. It is the barrier that holds your past in place and keeps your future out of reach. We must talk about time. In the classical world, time is an arrow. It flies straight and true from the past through the present into the future. You are told that the past is dead and gone, unchangeable. You are told that the future is a blank void waiting to be filled. But the quantum world has one more surprise for you, and it is perhaps the most shocking of all. Time does not work the way you think it does. The arrow of time can fly backward. We are about to enter the 10th fundamental understanding, where we will discover that your future self might already be influencing who you are today. We are going to explore the concept of retrocausality. Prepare yourself, because this changes everything about how you view your destiny. We stand now at the threshold of the 10th fundamental fundamental understanding, and this is where the ground beneath your feet might start to feel the most unstable. But do not be afraid. This instability is where your power lies. We have been trained to view time as a tyrant. We are told it is a one-way street, a relentless arrow flying from the past into the future. You have been conditioned to believe that the past is a locked vault, sealed and unchangeable, and that the present is merely the inevitable result of what happened yesterday. You have been taught that the future is a blank void, a nothingness that has not happened yet. But quantum mechanics has a secret to whisper in your ear. Time does not work that way. In the quantum realm, the arrow of time is not fixed. It is bidirectional. The equations that govern the fundamental fabric of reality work equally well moving forward or backward. This hints at a concept called retrocausality, the mind-bending possibility that the future can influence the past just as much as the past influences the future. This is not science fiction. This is evidenced by some of the most perplexing experiments in physics, specifically the delayed choice experiments proposed by the brilliant John Wheeler. Let us visualize this together. Imagine a photon, a particle of light, traveling through an apparatus with two paths. In a classical world, the photon makes its choice at the fork in the road, travels down one path, and that is the end of the story. But Wheeler asked a dangerous question. What happens if we decide how to measure the photon after it has already passed the fork? What if we wait until the photon has effectively completed its journey before we decide whether to look for a particle or a wave? The results of these experiments are staggering. They show that the choice you make in the present moment, the choice to measure or not to measure, ripple backward in time to determine the history of the particle. If you choose to look for a specific path, the particle behaves as if it had traveled a single path in the past. If you choose not to look, it behaves as if it had traveled both paths as a wave. Your decision in the now reaches back and rewrites the then. The observation you make in the future dictates the behavior of the past. Pause and let the magnitude of that wash over you. If a subatomic particle's history is not written in stone until it is observed in the present, what does that say about your life? It suggests that the past is not a heavy anchor dragging you down. It suggests that the timeline is fluid, but even more profoundly, it suggests that the future is real. The future is not an empty void. It is a field of resonance that is already interacting with you right now. This framework explains the mechanics of precognition, prophecy, and that gut feeling that you know something is going to happen before it does. You are not guessing. You are not calculating odds. You are sensing the quantum probability waves of the future rippling backward to touch your present consciousness. The future event exists in superposition, sending a signal back through the time-symmetric field. You are remembering a future that is waiting for you to select it. Apply this to manifestation. When you hold a burning, crystal-clear vision of a desired future, you are not just engaging in wishful thinking. You are not just daydreaming to make yourself feel better. You are creating a probability wave. You are establishing a quantum attractor in the future. Because time is bidirectional in the quantum field, that future version of reality begins to influence your present. It pulls you toward it. You are not just being pushed by your past trauma and your history. You are being pulled by your destiny. You are existing in an eternal now that is the meeting point of the past and the future. You are the intersection where history and destiny collide. When you understand this, you stop fighting your past. You realize that by shifting your observation in the present and by anchoring your focus on a specific future, you are restructuring the entire timeline. You are not a victim of linear time. You are a navigator of quantum time. You are tuning into a frequency where the future you desire is already broadcasting. This completes the theoretical framework. We have traversed 12 pillars of understanding, from the probability field to the illusion of separation. From the power of the observer to the fluidity of time, you now possess the map. But a map is useless if you do not know how to walk the terrain. Knowledge without application is just philosophy. We need to turn this into a way of being. This brings us to the 11th fundamental understanding, the practical integration. How do you actually live this? How do you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, go to work and pay your bills while holding the awareness that you are a quantum creator? How do you stop being a passive consumer of reality and become an active architect of experience? We are going to break this down into clear, actionable shifts in perception. This is not about doing more, it is about seeing differently. It is about a radical shift in identity. The first practical shift is this: you must recognize your true nature. You must stop identifying as a solid, separate object. Look at your hand. It looks solid. It looks like it stops at the skin. But you know now that this is a lie of the senses. That hand is a cloud of atoms, and those atoms are 99.9999999% empty space filled with fields of energy. You are a localized pattern in the quantum field. Living from this recognition means walking through the world with a sense of lightness. You are not a heavy thing pushing against other heavy things. You are a ripple of energy moving through an ocean of energy. When you enter a room, do not think of yourself as a body walking into a box. Think of yourself as a field interacting with another field. Your presence changes the room because your vibration alters the local quantum environment. You are not separate from the chair you sit in, the air you breathe, or the people you meet. You are continuous with them. When you shift your identity from solid object to fluid field, your resistance drops. You stop fighting reality because you realize you are reality. You understand that your consciousness is the leading edge of the quantum field, becoming aware of itself. This is not just a poetic thought. It is the literal truth of physics. You are the universe organizing itself into a person for a little while. Walk with that dignity. Walk with that power. The second practical shift is the practice of conscious observation. We learned that observation causes the wave function to collapse, but most people are lazy observers. They just look at what is already there. They wake up, look at their bank account, see the low number, and collapse the reality of I am broke. They look at the mirror, see the flaw, and collapse the reality of I am aging. They look at the news and collapse the reality of the world is chaotic. They are using their power of observation to recreate the past over and over again. To become a quantum master, you must hijack this process. You must observe what could be as if it already is. This is the secret. You have to measure the experience you want before it physically appears. You have to look for evidence of your success, your health, and your love, even when the physical senses say it is not there yet. Remember, the quantum field does not know the difference between what you see with your eyes and what you see with your mind. Both are observations. Both collapse probability. If you start observing your life through the lens of gratitude, looking for abundance, you begin to collapse the probabilities of abundance. You are biasing the quantum coin toss. You are loading the dice. This requires discipline. It requires you to withdraw your attention from the illusions of lack and fear, which are just old, crystallized collapses, and place your attention on the fresh potential of the new. You must become a sniper of attention. Do not let your focus drift to what you hate. Focus entirely on what you are building. Your attention is the beam of light that solidifies the road ahead of you. Be careful where you shine it. The third practical shift involves working with superposition. You must understand that your desire is not a distant fantasy. It is a reality that currently exists in a state of superposition. It is humming right next to you in the invisible spectrum. The version of you that is healthy, wealthy, enlightened, and in love is not in the future. It is in a parallel frequency right now. Most people approach manifestation with a sense of desperate longing. They scream at the universe, I want this because I do not have it. But that vibration confirms the absence. In the quantum world, you cannot ask for what you do not have. You can only tune in to what is already there. The shift is from wanting to aligning. You do not need to create the possibility. The possibility exists. The work is to align your consciousness with that specific timeline. How do you do that? By matching the frequency. If that version of you is joyful, you cannot access that timeline while being miserable. You have to cultivate the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You have to wear the emotional signature of that reality before the physical evidence arrives. This removes the desperation. You are not begging a stingy universe for a favor. You are browsing a library of infinite lives. You are simply choosing which book to pull off the shelf. Knowing that the outcome already exists in superposition allows you to relax. It gives you the confidence of the knower. You are not hoping, you are selecting. You are standing in the center of the quantum hall of mirrors, and you are choosing which reflection to step into. We have begun the integration. We have shifted your identity, honed your observation, and aligned you with the superposition of your desires. But there are still critical keys to turn. We must learn how to utilize the web of entanglement to influence the world non-locally. We must learn to make peace with uncertainty so that we can dance with the unknown rather than fear it. And we must learn to see through the illusion of decoherence to the fluid truth beneath. And finally, we must bring it all home to the ultimate realization of who you are. The transformation is nearly complete. You are ready for the final transmission. We have explored the depths of identity, the power of observation, and the art of aligning with the parallel versions of yourself. But the practical toolkit for navigating the quantum landscape is not yet complete. To truly become the architect of your reality, we must learn to wield the invisible connections that bind the universe together. This brings us to the fourth practical application. You must consciously utilize entanglement. In the old way of thinking, influence was limited by proximity. If you wanted to help someone, you had to be in the same room. If you wanted to change a situation, you had to physically manipulate it with your hands. But you now know that separation is the great illusion. You are entangled with everything you focus on. This means your sphere of influence is not limited to the reach of your arms. It is limited only by the reach of your mind. When you think of a specific person, when you hold a place in your heart, or when you visualize a global event, you are not just having a private thought inside your skull. You are activating a quantum bridge. You are strumming a string in the cosmic web that connects you directly to that target. Information flows instantly. Intention travels without a passport. Practice conscious intention with the absolute knowing that it lands. When you send love to a family member on the other side of the world, do not hope they feel it. Know that on the quantum level, you are right there with them. Your consciousness and their consciousness are touching. When you visualize healing for a friend, realize that your intention is organizing the energy field of their body. You are influencing their probability distribution. You are making the timeline of health more accessible to them. This is not about controlling others. It is about offering a high-frequency resonance that they can choose to entrain with. You are a broadcasting station. Stop broadcasting worry, fear, and doubt, which only entangle you with more chaos. Start broadcasting coherence, peace, and solution. The web is listening. The fifth practical application requires a complete shift in how you handle the unknown. You must accept uncertainty not as a bug in the system, but as a feature. The classical mind hates uncertainty. It wants guarantees. It wants to know exactly how the money will come, exactly when the lover will arrive, and exactly what steps to take. It craves a deterministic script. But remember, a determined future is a dead future. If you know exactly what is going to happen, there is no room for magic. There is no room for the quantum leap. You must learn to make peace with the fog. You must learn to trust the probability cloud. When you set an intention, you are defining the what. You are choosing the destination, but you must surrender the how. The quantum field has infinite ways to arrange events to bring you your desire, ways that your logical mind could never anticipate. If you try to micromanage the universe, if you insist that your success must look a certain way, you are collapsing the wave function too early. You are limiting the infinite intelligence of the field to the tiny scope of your human imagination. Practice holding a clear intention while remaining completely flexible about the details. Stand in the center of the unknown with a smile. Say to the universe, I know this is coming, and I am open to being surprised by the delivery method. This state of detached expectancy is the most magnetic state a human being can inhabit. It allows the quantum probabilities to collapse into the optimal outcome, the path of least resistance, rather than the hard path you were trying to force. Uncertainty is the playground of the creator. It is the fertile soil where the new can grow. Do not fear the void. The void is pregnant with potential. The sixth practical application is to learn to see through the mask. You must recognize that decoherence creates the appearance of a solid, stubborn world, but the quantum nature remains vibrant beneath it. This is the matrix moment. You look at the world, the bills on the table, the diagnosis from the doctor, the political conflict, and it looks so real. It looks hard. It looks unchangeable. That is the decoherence fooling your senses. It is the stabilization of the illusion. Your job is to be the one who remembers the truth. When you look at a problem, do not be seduced by its apparent solidity. Soften your gaze. Look past the surface. Remind yourself, This looks solid, but it is fundamentally energy. It is a temporary pattern in the field, and patterns can change. Practice perceiving the quantum reality beneath the classical appearance. When you are in a difficult situation, imagine the atoms dissolving into light. Imagine the rigid circumstances becoming fluid water. By refusing to be impressed by the facts of the decohered world, you keep the quantum possibilities open. You prevent the problem from hardening into a permanent state. You become a fluid master in a world of frozen statues. You are not ignoring practical reality. You are recognizing that practical reality emerges from a quantum substrate that you can influence. You are operating from the control room, not the screen. And now, we arrive at the summit. We have climbed the mountain of understanding, and we stand at the peak. This is the 12th and final framework. This is the ultimate truth that integrates everything we have discussed. It is the secret that the mystics have whispered and the physicists are stumbling upon. You are not separate from the quantum reality you are learning about. You are not a student studying the universe. You are the universe. The consciousness that is reading these words right now, the awareness that is looking through your eyes, is the quantum field itself. It is the infinite probability field recognizing its own existence. It has localized itself into a point of view called you to have an experience. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal description of what is happening. You are a localized pattern in the quantum field that has become self-aware. You are the universe waking up. The power you have been seeking outside of yourself, the power to manifest, the power to heal, the power to change, was never outside. It is what you are made of. You are the dreamer, and you are the dream. Think about what this means. It means there is no out there. There is no hostile universe withholding your desires. There is only you, the great, vast, quantum you, interacting with yourself. When you observe the world, you are looking in a mirror. When you change your mind, you change the reflection. Everything we have explained, the probability field, the observer effect, superposition, entanglement, uncertainty, decoherence, quantum consciousness, the measurement problem, quantum field theory, retrocausality, all of it is a description of you. You are the probability field, endless and open. You are the observer, collapsing chaos into order. You are the superposition, living 1,000 lives at once. You are the entanglement, connected to every beating heart. You are the uncertainty, free and unwritten. You are the decoherence, creating a stable stage for the play of life. You are the retrocausality, rewriting your past from your future. You now possess the complete framework. You are no longer stumbling in the dark, wondering how reality works. You have the manual. You understand that reality is a fluid dream, responsive to the command of your focus. You understand that you are not a victim of matter, but a master of energy. What remains is the only thing that ever matters: application. You must live this. You must walk out your door today not as a fragile human body, but as a colossal field of awareness. You must observe your life with intention. You must align with the superposition of your highest joy. You must trust the uncertainty. You must see through the illusion of solidity. Do not let this just be another video you watched. Let this be the moment your timeline splits. Let this be the branching point where you leave the old, unconscious, deterministic reality behind and step into the vibrant, living, responsive quantum world. This is your inheritance. The keys have been in your pocket the entire time. We have just helped you remember where you put them. The door is open. The field is waiting. The probabilities are holding their breath, waiting for your command. What will you choose to observe? What reality will you collapse into existence next? The canvas is blank, and you are the brush. Welcome to the true nature of existence. Welcome to your power. Welcome home. If you are ready to expand your consciousness and step into your next quantum leap, subscribe now. Leave a comment below and share this message with someone ready to awaken.